Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar on lead acceleration with FormOnce. My name is David Bailey. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at OnceHub. And my co-host today is Elva Carri, our Product and Marketing Manager at OnceHub.
Hi there.
We are also joined by Chavi Kaushik, our Product Manager, and Alison Mellon, our Marketing Manager.
Hi.
Hello.
Chavi and Alison are going to be handling Q&A during the webinar. So if you've got any questions at any time, please just use the Q&A feature in Zoom. They'll be able to answer your questions as we go along, but we'll also save some time at the end for additional questions. So let's get rolling, and let's start by talking about problems. Or rather, let's talk about the problems that we OnceHub are trying to solve for you, our customers. Now, as we all know, there's many problems that need solving in the world. And in the past, OnceHub was focused on solving this one problem for customers. We waste time scheduling meetings with back and forth emails. Now, we solve that problem extremely well with our Schedule Once product, but we've been hearing from customers for some time now that there are bigger, wider problems than just pure scheduling. So, for example, sales teams have been saying to us, look, we miss opportunities because we're just too slow responding to leads. They've also been saying we waste time talking to website leads who are not a good fit for our business. They find our booking page, they schedule a meeting, but they're really not a good fit. Marketing teams have been saying to us, hey, we don't maximize the lead generation potential of our website. We have all these visitors going through our website every day, and we're just not converting them to leads like we should. We also hear from the marketing teams that, hey, we just don't get enough leads from our paid marketing campaign. You know, we spend thousands of dollars a week on campaigns, but our website just doesn't convert them to leads the way we want. So these are the problems we hear, but let's just take a step back for a minute and break these problems down into smaller pieces. And think about it, it all starts with lead generation. So how are you going to generate new leads for your website and landing pages? Now, you've got a whole range of options here: organic search, paid ads, social media, lots of them. The right combination for you depends entirely on who your customers are and what kind of product or service you're offering. But let's talk about the next step, lead targeting. Once you've got those new leads on your website, you really want to target them with some personalized content. If they've just clicked from a paid marketing campaign or an email, you don't want to show them generic website content. You want to target them with kind of really relevant content and calls to action. After that comes lead capture. So how do you capture the right lead information as quickly and as easily as possible? If this part of your process is too slow or too boring, you're just going to find that your lead capture rates are really low. Then lead qualification. So how do I qualify these leads as being a good fit for my business? How do I ask the right screening questions to know if they're ready to buy? How do I find out if they're a high value or a low value lead? And that's when lead engagement kicks in. So how do you or your team engage with that lead as quickly as possible? They're on your website, they're interested, the clock is ticking. And this is where our Schedule Once product helps today. It simplifies the scheduling process, but it's still scheduling a meeting for a future date and a time. And we all know that people tend to forget or lose interest by the time the meeting comes along. And finally, there's the whole lead nurturing step. So how do you nurture that lead or that prospect into becoming a customer? Maybe it's a series of follow-up emails, maybe some blog articles, maybe an invitation to a webinar or a special offer. So again, plenty of options here, but the right combination depends on who your customers are and what kind of product or service you're offering them. But let's narrow this down to the steps where you're targeting and capturing and qualifying and engaging with leads. And let's just think about what you've been able to do with Schedule Once in the past. You've had booking pages, and those booking pages can make scheduling quick and easy, but that's really it. And the missing step for many of our customers has been lead qualification. So how do you qualify that lead before offering them a scheduled meeting? And this is where our two new products really come into play. We have FormOnce to create smart forms, and we have ChatOnce to create smart chatbots. And you can use both of these products to automate your lead qualification processes. You can also use them for your lead capture processes. You can improve your lead capture process There's no need to have a boring generic form when you can have a conversational form or a conversational chatbot that's much more engaging and much more personalized for your visitors to use. And then there's lead targeting. FormOnce, our smart chatbot product, has some really advanced features that allows you to target people as they come to your website. You can define audiences and then target them with different content and different messages when they arrive. But also, let's not forget lead engagement, the moment when that lead first interacts with someone in your team. We've offered scheduled meetings for many years now, but we also have the option now for offering live chat. If that person's on your website and they're qualified, why wait for a scheduled meeting in 2 or 3 days? Offer them a live chat conversation and just get going right away. Plus, we're going to add instant meetings in the near future. So you can also offer those visitors an instant video call or an instant phone call. Again, it's just all about reducing that time to lead engagement. So there's quite a few new tools we've added to the OneSub platform. It's not just about scheduled once anymore, or booking pages or scheduled meetings. And just to be really clear, we're not trying to solve the problems of lead generation or lead nurturing. The two ends of this process, we're not trying to solve that. There's many people that can solve that and help you there. We're trying to help you solve all the problem in between these 2 points. And this is what we call lead acceleration, helping sales and marketing teams like yourselves to capture and qualify and engage with leads in minutes, not days. So if you're interested in reading a bit more about lead acceleration, we have a great playbook on our website. If you're not sure why this is important for you, then consider this statistic. 78% of customers buys from the company that responds first. So you really don't want to be that company that keeps their leads waiting while your competitors are getting in first. But let's get back to problems for a minute. Let's talk about the problems with web forms. So somebody the other day described web forms as the most important but most boring part of a website. Every website needs a form if they're trying to capture leads for their business, but often the form is kind of a weak link in the process. It's not very interesting. It's very generic. Doesn't work so well. So the kind of things we've been hearing from customers are, hey, the forms on our website cause delays. We miss sales opportunities. Visitors have to submit a form and then wait for an email back from our team. But guess what? Our team gets an email notification, but their inbox is already crowded and they don't see it on time. By the time we get back to our visitors, many of them have already gone with one of our competitors who responded more quickly. And also, we often end up talking with people who are not a good fit for a business. They fill in the form or they do the booking page. They're just not a good fit. If our forms could actually qualify leads automatically, we'd be saving time and increasing sales. So if any of this sounds familiar, you're really going to love FormOnce, which is why I'm now going to hand over to Elva so she can give you a great hands-on demo of how it looks to your customer and then also how easy it is to set up a form from scratch yourself. Elva, over to you.
Thanks for that, David. Yes, so I'm going to walk through what a live form experience would be like for your visitors when they're on your website interacting with one. I'll do a brief demo of how to create a simple form like that. And then lastly, we'll take a look at a more advanced form so you can see what a tiny bit more time spent on it you'd be able to create with this tool. So if you come to the OneSub homepage and go to products and then select FormOnce, you'll see we have templates here. So these work great as demos for a range of different industry form examples that we've created. So I'm sharing how to find these in case you want to explore them later or you want to point colleagues in the direction so they can check them out. They're not on here today. But these are also templates that are available within the application and more. So when you're logged into OneSub and you go to create a form for the first time or the 5th time, you'll get these templates to choose from. And in many cases, you'll be able to just edit a few details to customize one of those templates and get started right away with one of these smart forms for your business. So let's go in and have a look at one. We'll check out one for financial advisors. So you'll see the form embedded here, ready to start the demo. So we're just making it clear to visitors that it is a demo form, not a real one. So let's say, yes, I'm ready. So I'm going to enter my email address first. And it's going to ask me the first qualification question. So for this one, what's my annual income? I'm going to select more than 200,000. And then for net worth, another qualifying question, I'm going to go on the lower end and select less than 1 million. So this is the outcome. I'm an unqualified lead. They've said thank you, and the team is going to get back to me. So maybe they're going to look into me in more detail, see is there any reason they should schedule a call, or are they just going to maybe add me to a marketing email list? But let's go back to the start and see what the experience would be like if I was a higher value lead. We'll enter the email first. This time I'm going to select that high income again, but I'm going to go on the higher end of the scale for network. And as you can see, I've been automatically qualified for a scheduled meeting. It says they'd really like to schedule with me to talk further. So I'm going to click continue. And then the visitor gets an option to select the date and time, and they can scroll through these to find something that suits them best. So let's go into the application and see what it'd be like to create a form like this. When you're logged into OneSub, if you click on the setup menu, you'll find FormOnce in the drop down here. And this is the form lobby. So you'll see any forms that you've already created, and you'll get the option to create a form here. So I'm going to select that. And this is where you come across the templates within the application. So you'll see some here, but I'm going to create one from scratch, and you'll get that option down below. So let's create a form maybe for an enterprise demo for a software company. So I'll give it a name. Once you're in the builder here, on the right-hand side, you're going to see the interactions pane, and that's broken into two sections, questions and actions. So the first thing I want to ask is for the visitor's email address. That's a question, so I'm just going to drag and drop that in. I'll give it a label and some text. I'm also going to save this field, so you get that option beneath any of your questions. And you can select this if you want to avoid asking the same question a number of times, either in the same form in case a question comes up later. For scheduling, you'll need their email address. So we can choose to skip this question if we've already asked them it. And I'll save. And then I'm going to add one qualifying question. So let's drag in a single select question here. This is going to be our qualifying question, and I'm going to ask them what their company size is. Down below, you can give some pre-populated responses so they don't have to type it themselves. So we're going to give brackets of 1 to 100, 101 to 500, and 500 plus. That's all the questions I'm going to include in this example form. So I'm going to switch to the Actions tab in the Interactions pane so that I can add a schedule action for those visitors who get qualified. So we'll drag this in here. We'll give it a label. And as you scroll down, you'll see event type and booking owner. So this is the same for any users who are using Schedule Once today. It's the event types and the booking pages and resource pools that you've already created there today. So I'm going to add a 30-minute meeting. And for booking owner, I'm going to select the sales team. So that's a group of different users, so I can distribute the meetings between them, but you could also pick an individual user. And I'm going to save. But then we also need an action for visitors who aren't qualified. So I'm coming back to the Actions pane again, and I'm going to add an end message. So that will just close the form for them. I'm going to add some text here. And you also get the option to redirect visitors in an end message action if you add that. So if you wanted to send those qualified leads off to view some blog posts on your website or some other materials, you'd be able to include a link to do that. But for now, I'm going to keep it short and simple and click save. So that's a really simple form. But how do you make sure that some visitors who qualify make it to the schedule action while other visitors just end at the end message? We come back to this question here, and I'm just going to click it to edit it. You'll see in the questions, it's divided into two sections, name and routing. So if I click into routing here, I can start to set some rules. So by default, each of the steps that you put in your builder are going to route to the next one in order. You can also specify to always route to a specific other step, or you can route to interactions based on rules, which is what I'm going to do here today. So I'll select a route based on rules. For my condition, I'm going to say if this answer is 500 plus, then route to the schedule action. So we could add different options for each of the different possible responses, but in this case, I want to send everyone else to just the end message. So I'm going to use the otherwise option at the end of the routing form, and I'm going to select end message and save. And that's it. So if you want to see what it's like without having to even embed it on your website yet, you can click the preview button. So let's have a look at that. So my email address, we'll include that. I know how to qualify for this, so I'm going to say I'm a 500 plus employee company. Going to ask for my details. We need details for the scheduled meeting action, so I'm going to add those. But you can see it's not asking my email again because we've already saved that field from the start. It also means we've saved that email for anyone who didn't qualify if we did want to reach out to them again. And then you'll get the schedule action will be presented. So that's how quickly you can get started with something really simple and start getting value from it really fast. I think of it as making your forms work for you rather than you working for your forms. But with just a little more time put into it, you can really build up the layers to make something much more powerful and very precisely customized to the needs of your organization, as well as maybe the needs of your customers. So I'm going to go back and look at an example that has a bit more complexity, a bit more layers. We'll go back to our forms lobby. In this example, I've created something where, let's say it's a financial advisor's firm and they advise the employees of very large companies. So I want to qualify them based on their email address. I want to make sure people are scheduling or only people not scheduling with a Gmail domain email, but with specific work emails. So I've built that in. But instead of adding more and more qualification steps, I've built in lots of routing. So for existing Schedule Once users today, you'll know there's limited steps in routing available, even when you're using master pages. So a great benefit of FormOnce is you can build on layer after layer. So we're going to look at an example here where the company needs to know the location a customer wants to meet at, whether they're an existing customer or a new customer, maybe who they want to meet with, as well as any other details you wanted to collect. So just going to go into the preview here and show that. So they want to know my work email address. I'm going to try a Gmail first, just so I can show you all what happens. So because I've set up the rules quite specifically, it's telling me, sorry, we require your corporate email address to schedule with our advisors. So I'm going to go back in and do that. Okay, so they're asking me where I'd like to meet. Let's say Houston is the nearest branch to me, so I'm going to select Houston. They want to know at this step, am I already working with one of their advisors or am I a new customer? So I'm going to say yes. Let's say I've met with them before. Okay, So I'm a returning customer. I've probably met with someone in the Houston branch before, so they're asking me who I've met with. Let's say it was Andrea. And they want to know the topic of the meeting, what I'd like to discuss. So let's say I'd like some advice on insurance. Because there's multiple steps there, I've added in a step in this form where it says, great, you'll be scheduling time with Andrea in our Houston office to discuss insurance options. In case the visitor changed their mind or selected something by accident, I'm offering them the option to go back and make a change. But for this example, I'm going to click confirm. And there I am, presented with one time slot for today. So it's a busy day, obviously. But you can see that's how much layering I think you can add on in FormOnce compared to ScheduleOnce, and one of the big advantages of it.
Thank you, Elva. Thank you. That was fabulous for a demo. As you can see, everybody, doesn't take much effort to create a form, but also if you want to create quite an advanced form with lots of routing options, then that's also possible. So a few quick final thoughts from me before we jump into the Q&A, because I can see there's some good questions going on. Excuse me, first thing is just to talk about scheduled meetings for a minute. So Elva showed you how you can use that smart form to capture the information, qualify the lead, check their email address, and then offer them a scheduled meeting. So in the near future, we're going to be adding live chat to FormOnce. You can use live chat right now with ChatOnce, but in the near future, we're going to add it to FormOnce. So you can really kind of accelerate that time to lead engagement. As soon as the lead is qualified, you can offer them a live chat. And then later this year, we're going to do the same thing with instant meetings. So you'll be able to offer not just a live chat conversation or a scheduled meeting, but an instant video call or an instant phone call. So scheduled meetings today, more to come. Elva also just showed you how FormOnce works as an embedded form. So you can add it into your website, add it to the contact page, to a pricing page, to a landing page. So again, in the very near future, we're going to be adding standalone forms to FormOnce. So these are great when you want to create a form that you can share quickly with a link. There's no need to update your website or wait for your marketing team. We already have standalone bots in ChatOnce, and we're just going to do the same thing for FormOnce. And then also later this year, we're going to add pop-up forms to FormOnce. So these are forms that are triggered when a visitor clicks on a link or a button, call to action button on your website. We already have pop-up bots with ChatOnce that do this, and we're going to add the same thing to FormOnce. And then talking of ChatOnce, we thought it'd be useful just to give you a quick comparison between these two products, between FormOnce and ChatOnce. So you use one of them to build smart forms, and you use the other one to build smart chatbots. The experience for your customer, the visitor on your website, is, it's different. One's a form, one's a bot, but the benefit to you is the same. So you can use both of them for lead capture. You can use both of them to automate lead qualification. At the moment, live chat is available in ChatOnce, but it's coming soon in FormOnce. Later this year, the instant meetings will be coming soon for FormOnce and ChatOnce. Scheduled meetings. So today, FormOnce and ChatOnce both offer scheduled meetings as a lead engagement option. Plus, we're going to be offering multiple publishing options for both FormOnce and ChatOnce. So if you want to embed your form or bot on a page, that's going to be possible. If you want to share your form or bot as a standalone link, that's going to be possible. The same for the pop-up forms and the pop-up bots. And at the moment, ChatOnce is the only one that offers targeting with audience rules. So targeted bots is a whole webinar in itself. We'd be happy to do that webinar. So please let us know in the Q&A if you'd be interested. But the takeaway here is there's two great products you can use in different parts of your website, and especially on campaign landing pages. And you don't really have to choose between one or the other. You can use one here and one on this page, a form here and a bot there. You can decide what works best for you. So one more thing. We don't charge you for using FormOnce or ChatOnce if you want to capture or qualify leads. If you want to capture people and qualify people with FormOnce, ChatOnce, that's completely free. The only thing we charge for is lead engagement. So if someone in your team needs to receive a scheduled meeting, then they'll need a user license for scheduled meetings. But that license works across multiple products. it works in FormOnce, it works in ChatOnce, and it works in ScheduleOnce. You don't need to buy multiple licenses for each person for each different product. So the same with live chat. A user license for live chat will work for that person across multiple products, FormOnce, ChatOnce. Live chat doesn't work with ScheduleOnce, it's just booking pages. And then later this year, the same thing with instant meetings. So a user license for instant meetings will work across multiple products, FormOnce and ChatOnce. So what this means for you today is if you're already using ScheduleOnce, you can basically start using FormOnce and ChatOnce right now for no extra cost. So that schedule meeting license you have in ScheduleOnce today, it's also going to work in FormOnce and ChatOnce. So there's absolutely, no cost to get started. You can try creating a FormOnce form today, tomorrow, this weekend. Try one that replaces some of your booking pages. Try adding some smart qualification questions. Just make the whole experience more pleasant for your customers. And while you're at it, don't forget ChatOnce. Try a ChatOnce standalone bot. They're a really easy way to get started with ChatOnce, and you can create some really interactive standalone bots as campaign landing pages. So that's everything for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and we hope this was useful. Bye-bye.